I think it's 8 o'clock.
Mhm.
Okay, you're ready. You're on.
Okay. All right. Ready. Hi. Good morning, everybody. Today I'm going to talk about food. We already talked about exercise. We talked about stretching. We talked about breathing. So today I want to talk about food. What it is that we're eating. You are what you eat. You are what you digest. You are what you consume. So let's talk about some of the things that we consume. So I'm going to talk to you not as a certified nutritionist. I have to preface my talk with you today by saying that. I'm going to talk to you as American Council on Exercise certified group fitness instructor and as a National Academy of Sports Medicine certified personal trainer. So basically, I'm going to give you a little overview, a little information for you to really think about with regards to foods and what it is that you're eating. So the issue that we are really dealing with right now regarding food is inflammation in the body. So we have this COVID-19 virus going around, and people are suffering. We have flus that we have to deal with on a regular basis. You know, illnesses that cause mucus or respiratory problems, inflammation. Okay, so I'm going to talk about inflammation for a second. So inflammation is the body's natural healing system to help fight injury and illness. It's an accumulation of white blood cells and fluids, mucus. That's actually what inflammation is. So when you have an illness or something is wrong in your body, your white blood cells or your phagocytes go to attack that illness or foreign thing, bacteria, whatever it is in the body. So it brings the phagocytes and the white blood cells in, and then also there's fluid that accumulates as well to help to fight off whatever it is, that negative body that's invading your body. And so what happens is after the fight is over, after the phagocytes and the leukocytes and the fluids have done its job, it just sits around in your body. Okay, so that's inflammation basically. I tried to make it very simple for you, but inflammation is a problem because inflammation is not only associated with a specific disease invading your body. It's also associated with unhealthy diet, lack of exercise, and too much stress. All of those stressors, all of those things, lack of exercise, you know, you're not moving your body around, you're not letting the fluids in your body move around. Okay, things are just sitting around. Inflammation is going to occur. And then also an unhealthy diet. Some of the things that you bring into your body are going to cause your body to create inflammation. It's going to create a lot of mucus. It's going to create the response of the white blood cells and the leukocytes. So I'm going to talk about leukocytes and the phagocytes. I'm going to talk about the foods that you bring into your body that help to create inflammation or mucus in your body. All right, so I'm going to go down my list, and hopefully this is not going to go past 15 minutes. I'm going to try to keep it simple. But once I get started talking about food, I sometimes get a little excited about it because it's something that I think most people don't really hone in on, and it's so important. It's so critical to keeping you healthy. The things that you eat, the things that you put into your body. So foods that cause inflammation. First, red meat. As an environmental health and safety specialist in the Air Force, part of my training was to go through a meat processing plant. And so I'm just going to talk generally. Like I said before, I just am going to give you information to make you think about things that you're eating. So meat processing plant. Let's go from the first stage of the meat processing plant. So they bring in the herds of animals to the meat processing plant. And so they're waiting outside in their little corrals to go in through the first phase of the meat processing plant. And as we toured, we looked at the animals, we took a look at the animals, and these were huge, fat cows. And so how do those cows get to be so huge and fat and massive? Because think about it. What do cows actually eat, right? Okay, so anyhow, so I'm a cow owner. I own a herd of cattle, and I want to get the most money that I can out of that herd of cattle. So when I take my cattle to the meat processing plant, when they weigh the cattle, we want to make sure that I can get the most bang for my buck for this particular cow that I'm dealing with. So in order to keep the cow healthy, you're gonna give the cow antibiotics. That's what is done. Okay, so the cows are getting antibiotics to keep them healthy from help them to fight off diseases and so forth. Then you really want your cow to be massive so you can get as much meat off that cow as possible to get paid for it. So you're going to give the cow hormones or steroids to beef them up, to make them, create lots and lots of muscle mass. All right, so your red meat now. I'm not going to go through the whole meat processing plant. So okay, so you have this cow, and the cow is going to go into the meat processing plant. The cow owner wants to get as much money as they can from the cow, so they're going to give the cow antibiotics and steroids. So when you eat red meat, you're eating the cow, right? Antibiotics and steroids. Now, women, we're already dealing with our own hormones, right? We're already dealing with the pressures, especially as you get older and your hormones start to fluctuate. After childbirth, your hormones start to fluctuate. And so here you are eating more hormones. So your body has to deal with those hormones. Okay? Bacteria enters the cow. It's a bad thing for the cow owner. So the cow gives the cow antibiotics. Do you really want to eat a lot of antibiotics if you don't really need them? Because the antibiotics are going to confuse your body to make your body think that, there's something going on in the body. I'm going to leave red meat alone. That's all I want to say about red meat, okay? Well, one more thing. When you eat red meat and you digest it in your body, it stays in your body for a very long time. It makes your body work hard. It makes those leukocytes and phagocytes address the red meat in your body because it's a foreign body, right? So anyway, it's going to make your body create inflammation, eating red meat. Dairy products. Cow milk is for baby cows, and human milk is for baby humans. I'm going to leave that right there. Okay. All right, so the next food that causes inflammation is white bread, right? Okay, so white bread or refined flours, refined grains. Yeah. What happens is when they're processed, they're harvested, and then when they're processed, the outer layer or the fibrous layer, the outer layer of that grain is removed, and what you're left with is starch. So white bread is a no-no because you're just eating starch, and it's not really doing anything to give the body nutrients. It tastes good. I love bread. It tastes good, but the body is not really getting any benefit from the starch alone. There are additives to white bread that, to enrich it, all right, and to make it more nutritious, but in and of itself, the starch, the starch that you're putting into your body is really not that great for your body. So that's why we want to stay away from white bread and white rice and refined grains, okay? So you want to eat more natural grains. I'll talk about what to eat in a second. So cheese, of course, cheese is saturated fat. So you want to try to eat low-fat cheeses. I love cheese. This is a hard one for me because I love cheese. I love bread too. But I found a substitute for white bread that works for me. White pasta, soda, candy, sugary foods. You already know diabetes is out of control in the United States. Well, I don't know about any place else, but I'm talking to my fellow veterans here. So I'm going to talk about the United States. Diabetes is out of control. So if you're eating sugar and sugary sodas and things like that, you're really setting yourself up for disaster, to make a long story short. Fruit juice. Fruit juice is just concentrated sugar. Fruit in itself is a good thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's wonderful. But fruit juice is concentrated sugar. So you want to stay away from consuming large amounts of fruit juice. Now, if you have a little bit of fruit juice every now and then, that's fine. But an abundance of fruit juice is no good because that's concentrated sugar going into your body, okay? And your pancreas is not designed, the insulin that you create in your body is not designed to handle all of that sugar that you're bringing in. Okay, so now, what can you eat? So as far as the protein goes, I talked about red meat, and I said a whole lot about red meat. I could talk about red meat for a long time, but I don't want to spend too much more time on it. Let's talk about what you can eat. So try to eat foods that are hormone and antibiotic free. Now your chickens and your turkeys and your poultry type foods, you see a lot of those in the supermarket now that are hormone and antibiotic free. If you're going to buy red meat that is hormone and antibiotic free, it's usually very expensive. I like buffalo meat. Buffalo meat to me tastes just like beef. Buffalo meat is good. It's usually antibiotic free and hormone free. As far as dairy products go, there are tons of substitutes out there now, and you've probably seen them. But the thing is, you have to acquire a taste for these substitutes for regular milk. So there's almond milk, there's coconut milk, there's oat milk, there's even rice milk. But you have to acquire a taste for these things. Trust me, I'm speaking from a personal perspective, all right? So when I first started drinking almond milk, I'm lactose intolerant. When I first started drinking almond milk, I had to drink it with ice. It had to be absolutely ice cold before I could drink it. And now I have no problem with it. And that's the same thing with the other types of milks, the coconut milk and the oat milk. I started drinking them very, very cold, and I was able to uh, to enjoy them more that way. Now, as far as white bread goes, there are lots of substitutes out there. There's wheat bread, but you want to be careful when you buy your wheat bread. If the first word is enriched, then it's not really the best choice. Okay, the best choice is the first word on the package that says wheat. Or there's sprouted grain breads. Now, sprouted grain breads in the normal supermarket, I don't know if I should mention supermarket names, but in your most common supermarkets, you're gonna find sprouted grain breads in freezers. Trader Joe's, I said it. Trader Joe's has sprouted grain breads, and they're not in the freezer because they go through them so quickly. So many people buy them that they don't sit on the shelf very long. So why are sprouted grain breads kept in the freezer? Well, because they're sprouted grain bread. So they're live. So they're like plants, right? So they just continue to grow. So if you leave sprouted grain bread out, if you buy sprouted grain bread, you need to keep it in the refrigerator if you bring it home, because if you leave it out, it's just going to continue to grow and grow and grow, and it's going to mold very quickly. So that's just a little tip for you if you do buy sprouted grain bread. Now, sprouted grain bread does take a lot of getting used to as well. So when I first started eating sprouted grain bread many, many years ago, I had to toast it, like lightly toast it before I could enjoy it. So that's just a little tip for you. You can lightly toast the sprouted grain bread in order to get it in. But I highly recommend it. I suggest it. It is loaded with fiber, low in fat. Is very, very good. I suggest you use sprouted grain bread. As far as potatoes go, the white potatoes, if you're going to eat white potatoes, try to eat the white potatoes with the skin, because the skin is what really provides you with the fiber that you need to have in your body to help you with your metabolism, help metabolize those white potatoes. I love sweet potatoes. And I'm not talking about sweet potatoes with the sugar and the marshmallows and the butter and all that. No. That's not what I'm talking about. That's a sweet potato on crack. You want it? It is all those extra things. So if you bake a sweet potato and put a little cinnamon on it, try to eat it like that. A baked sweet potato, that's the best way to eat a sweet potato. Also, you can use butter substitutes. There's avocado butter out there. There's all kinds of substitutes out there for regular butter. So you can enjoy a sweet potato without having all the additional sugar put in it. Trust me, I swear by them. Loaded with fiber, loaded with antioxidants. Try to get those sweet potatoes in as much as you can to substitute for the white potatoes. Okay, so let me talk about sugar for a second. So there are a lot of sugar substitutes out there. And the sugar substitute that I like is called stevia. Stevia is a plant-based sugar. I use stevia in my coffee. I drink a little coffee in the morning. I use my stevia in any baked goods that I make. It's very, very sweet. You don't need a lot of it. And it's a plant-based sweetener. So I'm just going to leave that right there. As far as the white pasta, there's tons of alternatives out there. You may even want to spiral your vegetables, spiral your butternut squash, spiral your sweet potatoes, spiral zucchini, and then, play around with it a little bit. I make all kinds of things with spiral vegetables. I take curry and cumin and ginger and garlic, and I throw it all in the pan with my black pepper, with my spiral vegetables, a little bit of coconut oil, and I just make it taste good. I just spice everything up. I use lots and lots of spices, fresh herbs. Okay, use all of those things to help enhance the taste of your foods, especially if you're experimenting with new foods. Oh, here's one. I'm gonna take a step back with the sprouted grain bread. I use almond butter, and I use a little bit of a natural jelly to substitute for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Okay, so that's a staple, but it tastes very good on lightly toasted sprouted grain bread. Delicious. Okay, so anyhow, Let me see if I covered everything that I wanted to cover. Oh, green leafy vegetables. This girl loves her some collard greens. Let me tell you something. I can eat a whole pot of collard greens. No shame, because collard greens are loaded with nutrients, okay?
Mhm.
Iron,
Yeah.
antioxidants. It's all fiber, okay?
Yeah.
So they are fabulous for your body. Just watch the way that you season your collard greens. You don't want to season them with, pork and things like that. So try to use a lot of garlic with your collard greens, a lot of salt, pepper, whatever you like. But just make sure that you season them well. Salt. Be careful with the amount of salt that you're using. We all know that salt, the sodium makes you retain water. Try to use sea salt if you can. Pink Himalayan sea salt. Try to use those substitutes as opposed to the iodized, the regular table iodized salt. Lots and lots of water. Try to consume water. Today is going to be a very hot day here, so that will give you a little trigger to help you remember to drink water. But try to drink as much water as you possibly can. Um, they say to drink 8 glasses of water a day, and then other people say you should drink more than that. Some people say you should drink less than that, but just try to get as much water in as you possibly can. Citrus fruits, I swear by them. Whenever I feel anything coming on in my body, I start to just eat lemons. I just eat lemons, and I tell people all the time, "Oh, if you feel like you have a little cold, just eat lemons." My kids, it's a joke, but now they do it. But it's a joke. Anytime they have anything wrong with them, they say, I know, eat a lemon." And so the lemon, it has a lot of properties in it that help to break up mucus in your system. And then lemons are loaded with vitamin C. So you don't have to go buy all these little vitamin C supplements here and there. Just eat a lemon or eat a lime, okay? Oranges are just as good.
Yeah.
As far as the other fruits go, berries, try to eat as much of the berry variety of fruits as you can. Be careful about them. Make sure that you wash them really well when you get them, because we have to consider pesticides that are used to keep the crops healthy, keep the pests away. So make sure you wash those very thoroughly. All of your fruits are good. Be careful with the amount of bananas that you consume. Bananas are good fruits, yes, but you don't want to eat too many bananas, because bananas can tend to be dense in your body, and they can create constipation. So, all right, talking about that, fiber. We talked about some fiber foods already, but oatmeal. Oatmeal. If you don't like oatmeal, then this is really just not for you. But if you like oatmeal, try to eat oatmeal every morning. Oatmeal fills you up, is loaded with fiber. It helps to reduce your cravings throughout the morning. If you have a nice bowl of oatmeal with some berries and a little bit of stevia, that's how I eat it. And then sometimes if you get sick of that little concoction, you can put a little almond butter inside your oatmeal. It's delicious. Okay, a little almond butter. All right, so I hope you wrote all of that stuff down. So now I can talk about food all day long. All right, but in the essence of time here, I think I covered what I needed to cover. So inflammation in the body, all right, it's a no-no. It's something that we really need to hone in on, and we do have the power to control some of the things that cause inflammation in our bodies. And one of those things is the food that we eat. Exercise, okay, is the other one. Reducing the stress. Remember, we talked about all these things before. The first day that I talked to you, I talked about guarding your peace. Stress in your body just stress in your body and in your mind just wreaks havoc in your whole life. All right. So I need you to remember how all of these things are related, okay, to keeping yourself well. So that's my wellness talk for this morning. Hopefully you got something out of it. If you want to talk to me more about food, you can feel free to reach out to me. And I hope you have a great day and be safe out there. Thank you.